Good afternoon, Cookie here. Man's having a busy day making videos. It's like everything dropped today, but I'm fighting through and enduring for you guys. We're going to look now at the hero Tigress and, look at if she's worth getting and why and what makes her good. So, Tigress is a Air Force hero, very similar to Brady. And Brady's been around, I think like a year now. So he's had a good run, and I think, depending on where you're at, but this may be the time to make a change as the heroes progress. But let's look at why. Let's look at what Tigress does. My Tigress is not fully leveled up yet, and so if I click on Tigress, I'm just going to look at the max stats and compare them to Brady's. So we start with her preparation skill. In the first round of battle, your Air Force units receive 125% attack enhancement. That's all Air Force units. For Brady, it was 120% for the first two rows and 105 for the back row. So that's your first difference. Now, the second thing you want to look at is that the Air Force units in the first two rows get one stack of 50% taunt obtained at the start of each of the first two rounds. That's also similar to Brady. Brady had what was called decoy. Decoy and taunt do the same thing, but they have different names, which I think allows them to stack. But basically, Brady had decoy, which gave you but it was a 25% boost. So what taunt and decoy do is the same thing. They are stacks that when you are hit, they do a 50% damage reduction for that one hit. Any kind of attack that hits you, the damage will be reduced by 50%, consuming the stack. And then whenever you get the stack at the beginning of the round, it's a damage increase. So in the beginning of the round, your front two rows are getting taunt. Each of them gets one stack, so they're all getting a 50% damage increase. There is a maximum of 200% on both Tigress and Brady. Now, with Brady, you were getting 25% without any exclusive skill. Here, you're getting a 50% increase. The damage reduction is 50% for both. So this means without any skill, you're getting more damage increase on your front six units from Tigress. And because it only lasts 2 rounds with Brady, without any skill, you could only get as high as 50% on each unit. With Tigress, in the first 2 rounds, you'll get to 100% damage increase. So there is a nice boost there without an exclusive skill. And then the other thing that Tigress has right away without an exclusive skill that you got with Brady's level 5 exclusive skill is that when you're attacked and the taunt stack triggers or is consumed, it does the damage reduction, and it says you have a 50% chance to apply 50% ignition to 3 enemy units, which basically means there'll be 9 turns, 9 times if all 6 of your front 2 rows get hit, that you'll apply 50% to enemy units, So that's a nice thing there. Now, with Brady, that was part of your level 5 skill, that when the decoy was consumed, you had a 50%. You had a chance to randomly give 50% ignition to 3 enemy units. So Brady's was it didn't say it was a 50% chance. It just said it was a chance. So I don't know if that's the same or different. Even assuming that that's the same, you didn't get that until Brady's level 5 skill. With Tigress, you get that right away. So as a hero without an exclusive skill, Tigress has a lot of the things that Brady got at level 5 earlier. So that is good and has more attack. It goes all 3 rows and has a higher damage increase. Now let's look at the skill. Mine's level 1 right now. The level 3 skill for Tigress is that the attack of all units increases by 30%. For Brady, it was that the HP of all units increased by 30%. This is an interesting switch because in the past top bar has always done that the level 3 skill for most attack heroes is a 30% HP increase, and then the level 3 skill for most HP heroes is a 30% attack increase. This is the opposite. I guess it kind of makes sense that the attack hero is giving you more attack, but still, that's different. Instead of 30% HP, you get 30% attack here at level 3. Now let's look at the level 5 skill. Level 5, now for Brady, if you remember, there was that 50% ignition you had a chance to give to 3 units every time your decoy stacks were consumed, and it gave you one more stack of decoy. So this meant you got 2 stacks on each of your front 2-row units, and meant you could get to 100% damage increase, which is basically what you get to with Tigress without any exclusive skill. And so now what Tigress gives you, in addition to giving you that, is that when this hero participates in battle at the start of each round, apply 50% ignition to 3 random enemy units. So this means that's 3 more units that get 50% ignition at the beginning of the round, not counting the ones who get it because of your consumed stacks of decoy. And then the taunt effect originally for your first 2 rows of Air Force units is now given to all Air Force units. So instead of it being just your front 2 rows that have taunt, it's your front 3 rows. So comparing simply level 5 to level 5, in addition to having a greater attack enhancement, slightly more, in the first row, and a significantly larger attack enhancement in the back row, Tigress gives you the same damage increase from taunt in the first 2 rows that Brady did. At level 5, her damage decrease will be less in the first 2 rows because she only has 1 stack still. And Brady had 2 stacks, so he could reduce 2 hits by 50%, whereas Tigress only does 1. But Tigress also gives that damage increase and that damage reduction protection for 1 stack in the back row. So it's much more powerful in your back row. And then, you're applying almost the same ignition, but you're also getting guaranteed ignition every round, which is nice. So at level 5, I think the Tigress is better because the attack enhancement's better. Your back row is going to perform so much better than it did with Brady. There's a slight drop off in the front 2 rows, maybe, in terms of damage reduction from taunt, but I think it makes up for it with the extra ignition and the bonus you get in the back row. And then at level 7, I think, is where Tigress really makes a big jump because it adds an extra stack of taunt. So now you're getting 2 stacks of taunt in the first 2 rows and in the back row. Brady never gave you decoy in the back row. And so because of that, you're getting the same damage reduction you got with Brady, plus you're getting the same damage increase up to 200%, and you're getting that also in the back row. And then on top of that, your front 2 rows are getting a 30% attack enhancement. Now, just to compare, Brady's change at level 7 was that the damage increase from decoy went up to 50%, which is what allowed him to get to the 200% maximum damage increase after 2 rounds. And it was a 40% attack enhancement for the first 2 rows. So again, yes, it was a better attack enhancement in the first 2 rows. So technically, if you have a level 7 skill, you'll have a 5% higher attack enhancement in the first 2 rows with Brady than you would with Tigress. But the additional row that's getting this, they call it taunt here, they call it decoy on Brady, the additional row that's getting that effect in the back row is 200% damage increase after 2 rounds, but 50% for each stack applied. So that extra damage increase and the extra damage reduction in the back row is going to be huge to help you stay in the fight longer, and that's going to do more damage even from your back row. So I think that's where Tigress's big value is. Now, I don't think Tigress is like I don't think Brady's like obsolete now. I think at level 5, there's certain things Brady does have. Like those first 2 rows, getting the protection is really nice with Brady. And so there's certain, where if you can't get Tigress, Brady might be okay still. But I think at 5, Tigress is slightly better. And then I think at 7, the difference is noticeably more because you're getting that extra stack back. Um, Again, all heroes are designed to upgrade what you already have, so naturally that's part of the game plan. But I wouldn't call Brady obsolete, but I think Tigress is an upgrade. And I really look forward to that back row having the same protection the front 2 rows have. That'll be nice. And also with, Abad and the ignition march that he can create, it will probably help to have Tigress with all the different ignition effects that she has. So if your Titan gear features ignition, it's going to matter more with Tigress than it did with Brady. That's my take looking at the hero. I will test it shortly, not too long, but until then, I'm pretty confident that the reading is good and that the stats, the numbers show what they show. So I'll leave you with that for now. All right, guys, take a minute to hit like and subscribe. Cookie out.